fund to young entrepreneurs aimed at expanding businesses in sectors such as construction, mining, and transport. In another milestone, development 1,907 youths graduated under the Youth Service in Zimbabwe, while 1,844 inclusive of 70 survivors of the drugs and substance platform are undergoing training. The line ministries carried out campaigns against drug and substance abuse as follows. The Ministry of Primary and Secondary Education, reaching out to more than 1 million pupils. The Ministry of Women Affairs, Community, Small and Medium Enterprises Development, engaging in 25,000 young people. And the Ministry of Lands, Agriculture, Fisheries, Water and Rural Development, while 305 youths benefited from green jobs in addition to cattle and thousands of chicks, and 890,000 fingerlings were distributed by the Ministry of Lands and Agriculture under the Presidential Economic Empowerment Scheme targeting the youth. Under the legislative program, Cabinet considered and approved the following: the ratification of the SADC Protocol on Employment and Labor. Cabinet considered and approved for the ratification of the SADC Protocol on Employment and Labor. The SADC Protocol was signed on the 17th of August 2024 at the SADC Summit of Heads of State and Government, and aims at promoting decent work, establishing fair labor standards, coordinating labor laws across the region, driving job creation, enhancing migration worker rights and social security, combating child labor, and working towards regional integration through harmonized labor policies. The protocol emphasizes on the recognition of basic human rights, particularly those that link with labor laws and the domestication of international labor obligations. Cabinet considered and approved for the ratification of Convention 187, the promotional framework for occupational safety and health. Convention 187 provides for occupational health and safety and mitigating the effects of occupational injuries on productivity as well as on socio-economic development. The major objectives of the convention are to promote continuous improvement of occupational safety and health, to prevent injuries, diseases, and death by developing a national policy, national system, and national programs to achieve progressively a safe and healthy working environment, and to periodically consider measures to be taken to ratify relevant occupational safety and health conventions of the International Labour Organization. Cabinet noted the report on the third United Nations Oceans Conference, which was held in France from the 9th to the 13th of June 2025. The third United Nations Oceans Conference took place under the theme Accelerating Action and Mobilizing All Actors to Conserve and Sustainably Use the Ocean. The conference centered on key issues including ocean governance, conservation and sustainable use of marine resources, inclusion and financing for development. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister, for presenting today's Cabinet highlights. Let us move to the first round of 3 questions. Then we will ask ministers to respond, and we move to the second and last round again of 3 questions. Over to you, colleagues.
Thank you, Chief Secretary. I will ask about ICT. Murwira will ask you. Murwira will ask about agriculture. Honorable Minister of ICT, I want to know what specific steps is the government taking to implement the ethical guidelines set forth by UNESCO in the context of AI. Also, will Zimbabwe developing a regulatory framework to oversee AI applications? And if so, what key ethical considerations will it include? Lastly, Honorable Minister, how does Zimbabwe plan to address concerns about data privacy and security in the deployment of AI technologies?
Yes, thank you very much. Yes.
Thank you, Chief Secretary. My name is Ameda Mura from the Road. My question is directed to Dr. Masuka about cotton marketing. Honorable Minister, one of the challenges that has been perennially present on cotton marketing is the effectiveness of electronic payment on cotton delivered. Most farmers in remote areas do not have bank accounts for them to receive the money, thus leaving them to the temptation of side marketing. My question is, what effective measures has been put in place by government to ensure that farmers receive the money and they don't resort to side marketing arising from bottlenecks on the weakness on the electronic payment where they don't have bank accounts? I thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. I think we have enough questions for the ministers to respond.
Thank you, Chief Secretary. The first three questions are to Honorable Tatenda Mavetera on artificial intelligence, the ethics, the concerns, the data security, data protection. Over to you, Honorable Minister Mavetera.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. Let me thank Mr. Mkudze for those questions, which are very, very pertinent. He asked about what we have done as government in terms of our ethical considerations, what exactly have we done, and secondly, he then asked about what we can then be able to do in terms of our data privacy. I think in a nutshell, that's what you have asked. And I really want to ask you in terms of that. Definitely we need to promote transparency for us to be quite effective in the adoption of artificial intelligence. And what we have done as government in terms of data privacy, we have got, currently we have our Cyber and Data Protection Act, which we believe we are now coming up with an ICT strategy, which we have done as government. So this is going to outlay what we need to do in terms of making sure that at least we have got the requisite infrastructure for us to make sure we are protected as a country. Secondly, we also need to invest in terms of our skill set. It's a matter of us being able to upskill, reskill, and skill our workforce as government. And we need, again, to also work towards just making sure that we create a lot of awareness. This is quite important so that at least we are very much geared up in terms of the data privacy. Then in terms of the AI applications and the ethical use, definitely we can never be able to create any policy which does not speak to our own Zimbabwe. We need to couch whatever it is that we need to come up with in line with our own context, with our own cultural perspective, look at what we do as Zimbabweans, which also suits to us. I remember at one point in time, we had Elon Musk saying that he's going to create robots that will be producing babies. And this was quite a scare for a lot of people in Zimbabwe. So this is where we need to come up from. If we're talking about ethical considerations, definitely as Zimbabwe, we need to create an AI policy which is in line with our own context as Zimbabwe. When we say the same with artificial intelligence, it has to be built within our own context as Zimbabwe. So all I can say is definitely plans are underway. The RAM report is going to inform us as we come up with the artificial intelligence strategy. It is going to inform us in terms of the economic, like what we said, that we've got the economic issues that need to be addressed, the educational issues, how do we need to increase in terms of our human capital, the infrastructure, where are we lagging behind, what needs to be done, if it needs us to invest in our data centers, it needs us to also invest even in at least a robust computing computer computer specifications. So all I can say is definitely, as Zimbabwe, we are geared up and we are happy that we were selected as part of the top 6 countries by UNESCO, and we are happy that at least as Zimbabwe we are ready to go. We have been approved to be able to, we've been assessed and approved that at least we are ready for us to adopt artificial intelligence. So all we need to do is just to make sure that we're in line with all the scientific regulations, social cultural regulations, all that, so that at least we are aligned. I so submit. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Mavetera. The second set is to Honorable Dr. Anxious Masuka on side marketing and financial inclusion. Over to you, Dr. Masuka.
Thank you, Chair, and I thank the questioner for the very important question relevant to the development of the cotton sector. As we've previously said, as government, cotton is an important agent for rural transformation and for the attainment of the President's vision 2030 of becoming a prosperous and empowered upper middle income society. So it is in this vein that when we do regulate the cotton sector through the Agricultural Marketing Authority, we regulate the sector for growth. So that's critical, the transformation to regulating for growth. And in that regulating for growth, there must be financial inclusivity. It is in this context that AMA has established over 600 buying points, and we call them common buying points because all the 7 contractors are obligated in terms of statute to purchase at this common buying point, which is carefully selected by AMA for accessibility and also to ensure that those payment platforms will see business in transacting with the 500,000 or so families that are engaged in cotton production, and to avoid, of course, side marketing. So as you regulate for growth, you carefully select these sites, you bring everyone, the 7 contractors to one place, you entice various platforms that are able to provide electronic payment to farmers so that there is competition. Hopefully transaction costs come down and everyone is included. But side marketing is a cancer. And you will recall that in the 2014-2015 season, this is almost collapsed the cotton sector, and government is trying to work to re-establish confidence within the cotton contracting system by eliminating side marketing. So wherever this occurs and at whatever level, we must ensure that this is eliminated. It's not just by growers. And I think the tendency has been thinking that a grower with 1 or 2 bales might be responsible for side marketing. We actually have seen intra-company side marketing, and it's something that we also would like to eliminate. But wherever you hear of an attempt to side market, please let us know so that we can investigate and ensure that the strategy that we are setting out for the growth of the cotton industry is fully implemented for the attainment of our vision.
Thank you very much, Honorable Ministers, for responding to those questions. Let us move to the last round. Again, 3 questions, if they are there, and then we'll ask ministers to respond. Any further questions, observations, or clarifications? Honorable Ministers, we've come to the end of today's sessions. I think our colleagues are satisfied with the responses that they got. Thank you very much. We'll meet next week.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Good. Thank you.
Water is the lifeblood of our planet. constantly flowing from one body to the next. From the moment it flows out of our faucet, it journeys its way through the labyrinth of pipes, undergoing all sorts of treatments before it is released back out. But water is a precious resource, and too much of it is being wasted already from inadequate treatment facilities. I'm Christy I, and today we're going to be following the flow of water and where all the wastewater goes to be treated, recycled, and reused.